Well, Steve, remember what Vicky Newland did, right? When Rubio asked her the question, I don't think Rubio was even trying to do a gotcha. I think he thought it was a softball, like a layup kind of thing, so we could knock it down. I mean, he knew it, is what I mean. And he said, do you have any of these biolabs? And she goes, well, there may be some research facilities. So even then, she has to admit the truth of what's there. And Steve, let's remember, these are the same people, the same exact system, by the way, which was lied to about Wuhan and the Wuhan Institute of Virology. And so we know this game. We've seen this game. We knew about it, number one. We knew about the Wuhan Institute. We knew about the ties to the Chinese military. We knew about the ties to Fauci, to gain a function, to all of it. So we don't need to relitigate this. We've all seen it. We've all seen the liars. And I loved, by the way, seeing all the people come after Tulsi. I loved seeing the freak out, the pathogen response by the neocon system. Because, Steve, I've learned that it's not about what the people say. It's when they're coming out against you, putting out the truth. It's about who is saying it. Understand the grouping, because that's how you can see the network. You can map the network. You can map the system that's been triggered, the system that's been alerted to come after you. And that is how we can update our mental model of who is on the side of the American people, who's on the side of the Lao Beijing, who's on the side of freedom and democracy, and as you mentioned before, the populist right who actually cares about our countries, and who is on the side of the special interests and the foreign interests.
Well, the nationalists, also the populist nationalist right, and who's really rooting for the foreign entities and powers trying to control this country. One of the things they're trying to do, Jack, I want your comments before I'll let you bounce back to the game, is they're trying to also use this to scuff up Tulsi, because they understand that the investigation and commission, we're going to put out all the information and intelligence of how we got in this war. President Trump's trying to bring this war to a conclusion, working nonstop. You got term sheets, you got MOUs, you got all this. President Trump's trying to juggle it all with the military to bring this thing to a conclusion. And I keep saying we're in it now, and that's going to be a focus. But there's going to come a moment, and that moment is not too far distant in the future. We're going to go back. We're going to go back to the spring and summer of 2025, and we're going to go back to Charlie Kirk's heroic stand on this. We're going to go back to get the receipts themselves, the receipts of what the CIA said and the receipts of what Tulsi Gabbard and DNI said. And I don't care who doesn't like it, okay? What they're trying to do is, she's a Russian asset. That's crap. This woman's a page colonel right now in the military. She served overseas. She served her country, which I noticed most of her detractors did not. Jack Posobiec, your thoughts about that? Because this is really why they're coming after her. They're coming after her because they understand. She understands. She's got the receipts on how we got into this debacle, sir.
Steve, that's exactly right. And you see these type of systems. These are the type of people that want us in a hot war with the Russian state. They want us in a ground war with Iran. They've wanted it from the very start. I was proud to stand there with Charlie Kirk throughout all of 2025, saying what we said. I'm proud to stand on where I stand today. This is the central animating feature of our time. Do you stand with the populist nationalists, or do you stand with these views of America as a global empire, America as this globalist system, the system of globalism? This is what the MAGA movement was birthed in this milieu. It was, are you going to surrender this country and its people to the siren song of globalism? Or will we be a nation state once more? That was the central animating theme, the credo. As President Trump said himself, America first will be our credo, American nationalism. That is our credo. And so if this is in the interest of any of these foreign affairs are in the direct interest of the American people, you need to state your case and make your case to the American people, and you need to do so with the truth. And if there are biolabs that we are trying to prevent, which, by the way, Barack Obama, when he was a senator, was tied to these Ukrainian biolabs, believe it or not. He visited them at one point. Visited in some of the programs. It's all true. It's just they want to try to cast it in a different light. This is Scott Adams would have a field day with this, by the way. It's one of those things. It's kind of like when they talk about demographic change. When Joy Reid goes up and talks about demographic change, they say, "Oh, it's great." But then if Jack Posobiec and Steve Bannon talk about it, oh, that's a crazy conspiracy theory.